Good morning. It's Miss Brienne from the Pickerington Public Library, Youth Services Department with my helper again, Miss Violet. And we're doing our Art Online program for you today, and we're going to show you our most recent artwork. So we're going to be doing silhouette art this time, silhouette art. So we're going to talk about what that is in just a moment. Your supplies are pretty simple for this one. 3 colors of colored paper, some glue, a pencil, some toy animals. We've got some of Violet's old toys here. Black marker, black paint, paintbrushes, container for paint, and water and towels for cleanup. Sunshine not included. We'll explain that in a minute, but let's show them our silhouette art projects real quick. Hold yours up.
Sure.
This is what we're going to be making. So I think you guys will enjoy this one.
Yeah.
So a silhouette is simply an image of a person, animal, object, or scene, and it's a solid shape with no features. So it's the outline and then it's filled in. So a silhouette would be, let's see, if you did a silhouette of a person, it wouldn't have the eyes and the nose. It wouldn't have those features like drawn onto it. If it was a basketball, it wouldn't have the black stripes on the ball. You wouldn't see any of that. It would just be one solid shape.
Soccer ball, no black stuff.
Yeah, it would just look like a big round ball, right?
Yeah, that's all black.
All black. Silhouettes are usually done in black, not always, but often they're usually a dark color and there's usually a light background behind it. So here are some examples of silhouettes. Can you recognize these objects without them having any details?
Yes.
What do you see?
There's a flower, and there might be a rose, and a werewolf or a dog.
Ooh, a werewolf.
Or an elephant, and a girl with a balloon.
Yeah, excellent. So again, a silhouette is just the outline and filled in shape. We don't have to see any details to know exactly what these animals are. They kind of look like shadows. Yeah, kind of look like a shadow. So I want to talk to you about an artist named Wally Spatz. Her real name was Ruth, but she went by Wally. She was born in 1916 and she died in 2011. She learned to cut portraits when she was 15 years old. She went to the movies and she saw a character in the movie that was cutting out portraits out of paper, and she thought, I can do that. That's paper and scissors. I can figure that out. So she did, and she was really good at it. So her family moved to California from Iowa, and while she was there, she worked for a place called the Hollywood Canteen. This was a special place where soldiers could go and be entertained by famous artists, famous actors, singers. They would entertain the troops or the soldiers before they went away to war. Now, Wally Spatz wasn't super famous, but people liked to sit down for her portraits because they thought they were really cool. She could do these portraits in about 3 or 4 minutes. So she would just have you sit in a chair, look at your face, and she would cut out your picture out of black paper for you. She moved to Cleveland, Ohio, and I'll tell you why that's important in just a minute, because we live in Ohio, don't we? So here are some examples of her artworks. You can see she signed her name down there too. And I have to remind you guys, when you're making your artworks at home, make sure you sign your names. We didn't sign our names on our artworks this time. We forgot. How are you going to be famous if you don't sign your artwork, right?
That was my art teacher.
Your art teacher always says that. So these are the portraits that Wally Spatz made. Again, she had these people sit down in front of her and she just cut these images out of black paper with some scissors. Now, that's a pretty tricky project. We're not going to do our project like that, but we're still going to use the same idea of a silhouette. And the reason I brought up Wally Spatz is because when I was thinking about doing this project, I was like, I think I have a picture like this in my house. And I did. When I was a little girl, at my mom's house, we used to have these silhouette portraits going down our steps. One of my brother, one of my sister, and one of myself. And I was like, well, let me take a look at that. So my mom gave me this and I was like, all right, here it is. Yeah, that was me when I was little. Does it look like me?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Well, that's what I looked like when I was little. And if you look here, it says Wally Spatz. Can you believe that? So I have had a portrait done by a famous artist.
You mean free from your brother and sister?
Oh yeah, one for my brother and my sister. You're right. So
I bet they have
my grandma lived in Cleveland, Ohio when I was a little girl. So we went to Cleveland for something, and we were able to get our portraits done by Wally Spatz. How about that? That's kind of neat.
It's kind of funny.
All right, so what we're gonna do is make our own silhouette artwork. So I kind of broke these ones down into steps this time. So you're gonna choose 3 pieces of paper, 3 colors that you like. And this is gonna be your background for your silhouette. So depending on what animals you might use to, for your silhouettes, that might help you choose your colors.
You used purple, pink, and yellow.
I did. I used purple, pink, and yellow because I ended up doing a unicorn and a pegacorn. That's a unicorn. That's also a Pegasus. That means the wings, right?
Yeah, the wings and a horn.
Wings and a horn. That makes it a pegacorn. I thought these colors kind of look like cotton candy and, I don't know, clouds. So I picked these kind of light pastel colors. So you'll choose 3 pieces of paper, 3 colors, and you'll choose one that's going to be your background piece. So I left purple plain. And then with the pink and yellow papers, I just tore the paper. Isn't that what we do with the construction? Very slowly, we tore it into long strips.
There was an
long
accident
strips.
in there.
Oh, that's okay. We were tearing it.
Yeah.
So I tore up the papers. This is the 3rd step. I arranged them on the paper. So I took the pink and the yellow pieces that we had torn, and I kind of arranged them on top of the purple in a way that I thought that they looked nice. So this gives you a chance to kind of move them around and find what you like. So on the left, you see that's me just arranging them. And then on the right, that's where I finally decided to glue things down. I don't know, I kind of thought it looked like clouds and maybe like a pretty sunset. So that was my background. We let that dry before we did the next part.
Yeah.
Here's Violet doing hers. She chose orange and yellow and pink for hers. So here she is gluing down her pieces. And that was your final background.
Yeah, I did orange background.
Yeah, you did orange background for yours. So those are our 2 final backgrounds. So we let that dry. Now this was the hardest part of the project. You need to find some light that you can set your little figurines in front of. So we tried different times of day, and then it ended up getting cloudy, and then the sun, you know, moves through the sky all day long. So this part was a little bit difficult. We tried it on different levels. You see, I used a bunch of cans and containers.
Yeah.
But as you can see on my yellow and purple and pink paper in the background, I finally got those shadows right where I wanted them. See that? So you're gonna experiment, you're gonna try to play around until you can get those shadows right where you want them on your paper. I was pretty happy with this. I was like, all right, this is what we're gonna go with. And so I took my pencil and I traced around the shapes of the shadow. I couldn't get them exactly perfect, and that's okay. That's not a big deal.
It's just for fun.
It was for fun. It was fun too. So we traced the shadows of our figures. And I don't have a picture of Violet's, but she did the same thing too. Yeah, we did hers a little bit different. We thought it would be easy. This is step 6, paint the shadows, but we thought it would be easier if we traced over our pencil lines with some black marker first. So that's what Violet's doing here with her horses.
And if it's okay if you get it inside.
Oh, like this one here?
Yeah.
Because what's gonna happen in that spot anyways?
Because we're gonna turn it black.
We're gonna paint it. Just like that, yeah. So we traced them with black marker, just to make sure we had all of our lines pretty clear. And then we took the black paint and we painted in our objects. So she painted in her 2 horses here. And then we also painted the ground because we wanted to look like, you know, they were standing out in a field or on a hill.
Yeah.
So you can see in the picture on the right, that's where Violet painted in the black of the ground that they're standing on. And voila, there's our finished artwork. So I decided to make my unicorn standing on a cloud in the sky because isn't that where unicorns live, right?
Yeah.
And then the Pegasus is little baby, or pegacorn, is kind of flying around up there in the sky. And then Violet's here. Her mommy horse and baby horse are out in a field.
You mean daddy?
Oh, that was a daddy and baby.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Tough.
Oh, yeah, they are tough. You made big, thick legs because you said they were tough, huh?
It was an accident, but we can.
It's an accident, but
it's cool.
now I made a different story for your horses, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so your supplies, again, pretty simple. Colored paper, glue, pencil, some toy animals. It doesn't have to be animals. It could be figurines. It could be G.I. Joe guys or whatever you have.
Yeah.
Black marker, black paint, paintbrushes, container for your paint, some water and some towels for cleanup. Again, the trickiest part is trying to get those shadows onto your paper. So you're gonna have to play around a little bit with that. You can do that out in the sun. If it's a rainy day, you might be able to find a way to do it with maybe some flashlights in the house.
It's kind of hard to do.
That was hard to do too.
We tried that and it didn't work.
We tried that too, but we got it, right? We finally got it. So it's kind of a it's kind of a STEM activity because you have to figure out, how to make that light and the shadow work together. So steps again quickly: choose your paper, tear your paper, arrange and glue. That's for your background. Figure out where you want your shadows, trace the shadows, and then paint your shadows in for your silhouette, huh? All right, and if you guys make this project at your house, we'd love to see it, so you could show us your work. You could, if you're watching it on Facebook, maybe you could post it there in the comments, or if you want to put it on something like Instagram and you want to tag it with PPL at home, that would be a way that we could share it all together. Well, we thank you for our last art video here for the springtime. We hope you've made some cool art projects. We've had a good time making these too, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's been a good time. So have a good day. We'll see you.